6:30. We will now begin the public hearing for the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, June 7th, for the ordinance 2011-11. We do thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. We appreciate your presence here. We do want to have everyone to speak. You will have 5 minutes, and please step up to the podium. We're going to allow our city administrator, Mr. Steve Mayer. He will be conducting the public hearing.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The podium is open for discussions. Please keep your comments straightforward. We're going to talk about the budget. Expect it to be a one-way discussion in which you're going to share your thoughts. Please don't expect it to be a question and answer or expect the board to respond. It's meant so that they can consider with full attention your comments. I would ask that we refrain from any outbursts that would just simply waste the person's time. Try not to boo or cheer or show too much interference with what they're trying to say so that we give them respect just like they will give you respect. So the first person I'd like to call is actually a written submission, a lady who was not able to attend tonight, so it's permissible for me to read her submission, and I'd like to do that for the board. And so this is from Miss Malta Petroff, Petroff, and I'll read. I would like to go on record opposed to the tax increase that Mayor Mosley recommends. I have lived in Rutherford County for 33 years and moved to Pinnacle Point subdivision in 2008, and by the end of 2009, my property assessment went up by $20,000. I appealed this assessment, and the reevaluation remained with a $15,000 increase. The rate of increase cannot make up for what has occurred in the past, and city government should be made to work with the budget that can be obtained now and in the future. My subdivision began construction in 2007 and is still incomplete, with homes being rented, leased, purchased, and empty lots still looking to be developed. How is my home after 3 years valued so much higher in a recession in an underdeveloped neighborhood? If anything, I would lose money on my house if I sold it, and it would not be because of too few police, firemen, or services. This hike in taxation would only diminish the residential growth in Laverne, which doesn't bring more taxpayers to the city. Understanding the need for improvements in Laverne, an increase in property taxes may be necessary. However, not to the extent that the mayor would request. If an increase is necessary, may I suggest the current rate of taxation be placed on the purchased value of your property and the appropriate increase of taxes be placed on the increased value assessed. If you find this ridiculous, you may want to look at what you have proposed. Please consider my appeal to not raise property tax as proposed by Mayor Mosley. Respectfully, Malta Petroff. And that concludes her submission. I would like to call the next person up. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes, sir. State your name and address, please.
My name's Bill Campbell. I live at 2300 Waver Court. Good evening, Mayor, Aldermen, and the citizens of Laverne. I'm glad you're here. Coming on the heels of a 40-60 water sewer rate, for whatever reason, to come along with this kind of a tax rate is just out of question. We got too many senior citizens that live in this city on a fixed income. We have about 50 of them that has applied for the tax relief, like you can go to the county if you make less than $26,000 and if you are 65 or over. And I know there's got to be more than 50. But even if they all came down here and applied for it, can they really afford what's left to protect their investment in their home? So that's number one reason why I say it's too high. It should come in gradual, not just a double whammy all at one time. Spending by the city should be placed on a priority basis. When you have tough times like this, and believe me, I managed a truck line for 40 years. When we had tough times, we had to put spending on a priority. We had to put the brakes on a lot of things. It hurt. It wasn't easy, but we overcome it, and our city can too if we do that. The increase of this magnitude should be gradual, as I stated earlier, and not all at one time. Our city has all the senior citizens that I referred to, including myself. I live on a fixed income, but it will hurt. But my wife and I can pull it into our budget to afford it if we're forced to. But being forced to do something is tough. My income has gone down $85,000 in the last 20 months. So we have cut our budget drastically as our income went down. It's going to go down about $12,000 more here in about 4 months. Maybe I didn't plan my retirement program the correct way and the right way to keep from having all these decreases. But I don't need no more increases to offset what we've already came down in our own budget. I don't know how many people have parents living in this city. Those parents on fixed income. I don't know how many of you grew up in hard times. I did. I'm not bragging or boast about it. I started working when I was 15 years old when I ran away from a kid's home in Oklahoma and hitchhiked to California. And I struggled to get through high school and college, and I had tough budgets to do it. But I struggled to do it, so I know what struggling is. And I'm asking the board tonight to reconsider what you're wanting to vote. You know, a tax increase of this high should be put to the voters for a vote. It's too high without all the citizens getting to vote what they feel like, because that's the only fair way. So, as a citizen of this city, I'm asking you to reconsider tonight. I'm asking you to vote your conscience, but look at us before you vote, because we can't handle this kind of a tax increase in this city. I don't believe they can do it. Thank you very much. I know you work hard, you work faithful, but all these citizens behind me work hard and they work faithful at their jobs. And we need a relief vote tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments, sir.
My name is Marvin Chavis. My wife and I live at 614 Maple Drive in Lake Forest Estates. Mayor, Alderman, Alderwoman, and citizens of Laverne. In regards to the proposed 100% tax increase, I want to voice my disagreement and some concerns. If an increase is inevitable, then please do it in smaller increments. Last week, there were many statements made in this very room that the city is in this current situation due to poor planning by prior administrations. If you look in the mirror, most of you sitting on the board were part of those prior administrations. Alderman Green, you were a previous mayor. Mayor Mosley, you were a previous alderman. So before you point fingers at the previous administrations for this financial situation, look in the mirror. I challenge each of you to find the intestinal fortitude to do what is right for the citizens of Laverne. 100% or a 50% tax increase right now with the current job market and economy is totally unfair. You mentioned making improvements to get businesses in here, but I'll tell you, I've got a business degree, and if I was a business looking to relocate somewhere with an unsettled tax base with 50% or 100% going in at one time, I'd relocate elsewhere. I wouldn't come in, because you don't know what's 5 years down the road. If the city can't learn to live within a budget like the citizens here, then let's do away with the city. Currently, 85% of my property taxes go to Rutherford County. Other than the schools and a few traffic signals, I have no idea where that money goes. But we have a mayor for the county. We have a redundant government. If you guys can't manage a budget, get out of the way and let them do it. The city of Lakewood recently in Davidson County did that. There's no more Lakewood, and they still have more services than they had to begin with. Within the last 45 days, NES, Comcast, Water, and Sewer have announced increases. I personally, and I work for Davidson County, haven't had a raise in 5 years, and we've had to prioritize where we spend our money. The city needs to do the same thing. The citizens are not an open bank account. We can just go and draw money out when you need it. Last week, there was numerous comparisons in here. 3 or 4 times I heard, well, Smyrna has this and Smyrna has that. We're not Smyrna. If I wanted to live in Smyrna, I'd have moved to Smyrna, and they're a larger tax base. I moved to Laverne because of what it had to offer, but now you're taking that away. We don't have a golf course, we don't have an airfield. So no, Laverne doesn't need 400-plus employees like Smyrna does. We're a small city, that's one reason I moved here, and I'd like to keep it that way. If people want to go to a bigger town, let them move to Murfreesboro, let them move to Smyrna, let them move to Antioch. I moved to Laverne because it was small, had good schools, and a low tax base. In closing, I want to thank you for the opportunity to express my opinions, and I challenge each and every one of you and the department heads to define the difference in needs and wants, just like we have to do at home. It's nice to have a lot of wants out there, but you need to prioritize on what you need, not on what you want. And then plan ahead for future acquisitions. Don't buy everything up front at once. If we need to save money, let's take some fiscal responsibility. Stop some of these frivolous lawsuits that the city's been facing the last few years. And like any other business that can't make ends meet, there is always the alternative to shut the doors. The citizens have the right to hold a referendum to determine whether or not to continue the city charter and your positions. You know, last week there was discussion of voting you out of office. Go a step beyond. Do away with city government, let the county take over. I'm sure Smyrna would like to annex us. I'm sure Murfreesboro would like to move in here. There are other alternatives than constant repetitive tax increases and fee increases. Your decision tonight will determine the future for Laverne, if there is going to be a Laverne. And remember, we can all survive with a little less niceties in life. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, my name's Tori Venable. I live at 1540 Ridgemont Drive in Laverne. Mayor, Board of Aldermen, I would like you to take my thoughts into consideration, although I know that most of you have probably already made up your mind, and I know that you have to vote on this budget soon. A 50-cent tax increase on our property taxes is too high. 20 cents even would be more doable for most of the residents here. But when we have houses that are for sale that no one wants to buy, and we have numerous foreclosures across the board, it doesn't seem like a right thing to do to raise the taxes, even if it's only going to cost someone an extra $200 a year. It's still, that's $200 these people need if they're unemployed, if they're on disability, if they have a fixed income. There's so many reasons out there why I understand why you want to increase services, and it's a basic service wish list looking at the budget. And to think that there is no fiscal responsibility between the approved budget for 2010 and 2011 and the projected budget, you guys have overspent by $1.2 million in 1 year. 1 year, $1.2 million. And now you want to raise the rates. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that Laverne has not had a tax increase in years and years. And I understand that a tax increase is probably coming down the pipe either way it goes. But it either needs to be incremental or it needs to be a lower increase. You know, businesses, government, everyone cuts back in this economy. And to think that you're actually going to grow the city government and add new positions. Now, I understand that we need more police officers, and I understand the situation with the firefighters, but to grow at that rate is ridiculous. And to think that you can shoulder this on the backs of the citizens and say that you only want to vote on it once because you don't want the voters to remember at the next election cycle is quite frankly ridiculous and an insult. It's an insult to every one of us in here that votes that, you know, we want the services, but we don't want a 50-cent tax increase. Either do it incrementally or add 20 cents. I think 20 cents would be a valid compromise because the best thing that Laverne has to draw is its convenience and location and its low tax base. If I wanted to live in Smyrna, I would have moved to Smyrna. In closing, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The podium is open for someone to make comments.
I'm Judge Scott. I live at 4001 Cherish Hope Court. And I haven't lived in Laverne very long, 2 or 3 years. But in looking at your proposed budget, there's a number of issues in there that I have questions about. Last year, we had $1,271,000 in other revenues that aren't budgeted for in this year in the general fund. Now, that may have been stimulus money, but if so, I think we need to question how was that money spent. Was it spent on hiring more people, or was it spent on something that won't be a recurring expense? The other thing is, I see that you've got a surplus of over $17 million. Now, this tells me that the city's been well managed in the past, and contrary to evidently what has been stated here in the last meeting, but if we've got a surplus of $17 million, then I don't see the reason that we should double our property taxes on top of an increase in the valuation of the homes that took place this past year. I thank you very much for your listening.
Yes, sir.
My name is David Tolbert. I live at 803 Briar Grove in Laverne. To Mayor, Aldermen, citizens of Laverne, I won't go over all of what's been said. I support what the previous speakers have said, and you've duly noted that, so there's no point in my going over that. But I would like to appeal to you on one thing, on the simple moral grounds, that basic shelter is a God-given right. It's a moral basis on which I want to appeal to you. People are losing their homes, the budgets are stretched to the limits, and to say that the city can't live within its means, but everybody else has to live within theirs, or else lose their homes, not able to support their families, not able to send their children to school or do the things that they plan to do. In other words, I don't have a 5-year plan because my gas price, gasoline just went up. I don't have a 5-year plan because my water just went up. And now my taxes are going up, which is just extremely too high. And many people will lose their homes. Already in foreclosure, and they're going to be homeless or seeking alternate places to live. And I would just appeal to you on moral grounds that God is on the side of the poor. And when we oppress the poor, good things will not happen. Thank you.
My name's Scott Hudson. I live at 114 Irvin Road. I don't have a prepared speech. I drove over 100 miles to come here to this meeting tonight. To support a family of 4, I have to travel all around the United States working to afford to live here. Now, taxes keep going up. I'm going to pack up and leave, and I'm not the only one. This is A, ridiculous, B, it just ain't right. I mean, we just had the water and sewage increase, which, due to my job, and it's nobody's fault but my own, I didn't know about till I got home. Now, you're going to raise our taxes on our property? So I just want to let you know I drove over 100 miles to come to this meeting tonight because it is hard enough to support a family with the economy we have now, much less with somebody go, we're going to hit you for this, we're going to hit you for this, we're going to hit you for that. I agree with everybody else that stood up tonight. If you're going to do it, either do a small increment or do it a little at a time, but all at once. I mean, are y'all just trying to piss us all off at one time and get it out of the way? I mean, I don't know. Only other thing I can do is hand you my wallet, because that seems like that's what you're shoveling. You just keep digging and digging and digging. And I agree with the other. Yeah, people want to point fingers. Well, it's his fault, it's Ronnie's fault, it's whoever's fault. But just like he said, a lot of the people on this board were here last year. A lot of people on this board misspent funds. Now, I see just about every police car is a 2010 or newer, okay? That, to me, that's ridiculous. I understand our police need to be well-equipped and all this, but to go out and spend frivolous money on 40 new police cars or all this stuff, that's just ridiculous. You know, I live on a street where they drive 100 miles an hour. Literally, I bought a radar gun and clocked more than one car in a day going over 60 miles an hour. I got a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. They can't even play in my front yard. And the alderman lives next door to me. So why don't you, instead of raising taxes, put a policeman where there should be policemen? Because I'm seeing all this money going out, and I still got people running 100 miles an hour down the street in front of my house in a residential neighborhood. And I mean, this happens on an hourly basis. You could set 10 police officers there, and within 10 minutes, all them cars would be gone. I done had to flip over 2 cars. And Lavergne's a nice little town. That's why we moved here. Low taxes is why we moved here. But if you're going to tax us to death with water, sewage, and now our property taxes, I agree with everybody else. There's no reason to stay here. That's why we moved here. We could have moved to Smyrna, but we chose Lavergne for the taxes and for everything, everything that the city had to offer. And I just would like y'all to please reconsider it, because a lot of us have had enough. And, other than that, I just wish y'all would reconsider it. Thank you.
My name is Tony Fanetta, and I live at 131 Greenwood Drive. For some reason, it's took Mayor Mosley almost 7 years to get this passed. She's been asking for all of y'all to come down here and support her. She has told y'all that the money was missing. She has told y'all that, where is it? They won't tell her nothing. She sat right over there, right where Tom Broker was sitting, and took it from the other ones. So yeah, it makes me mad that she's tried to get y'all to understand this. For 6.5 years when she was alderman. She happens to be one of my best friends, and I consider her part of my family. And to hear y'all get up here and talk about her like she's a dog, when she has done more for this city. No, hey, I listened to y'all, didn't say nothing. I think it's my turn. She has tried. She has busted her butt for the city of Lavergne. Where were y'all? Right, you were sitting at your homes doing nothing. When she was telling y'all to come down here and support her and support her and where this money was going. Oh, but we're just going to skim by, right? Right? We're just going to skim by. Look where we're at by skimming by. Okay, a question got asked to you, Mayor Mosley, about the budget. You said it was balanced. I have a problem with that. How could it possibly be balanced if we're sitting here paying for years that's already passed? And a question that I can answer for you. Did you have any part in setting them budgets, or were you just cast aside, or did you walk in a 20-minute meeting, they threw you a budget and said, see you later, bye? They treated you like a dog. And yeah, I'm mad. Because my best friend has worked her butt off. And y'all sit up there and laugh, you can do whatever you want to. She told y'all this was coming. She told you, but you didn't listen. She told you about the rock quarry. She told you about everything. Even Tom Broker was probably lied to through the whole election. I didn't even like him. I'm sorry for that. I am. I'm sorry I treated you like a dog. But compared to the last elections, yeah, we don't believe nothing. But I can tell you right now, that lady does not lie. You can say whatever you want to say. I know her. And I can tell you, any one of y'all have a problem, she's out the door to help you. She has been up in crap when a sewer pump over there busted and it went into a guy's house. And she was the first one there. The man didn't even vote for her. But she was there. Then they didn't even want to put him in a hotel and be responsible for it. Who got him in a hotel? She did. But y'all want to sit here and talk about her like a dog? She's been busting her butt for 15 years for this city. In getting schools here, jumping out the door when people need it, taking up for our police officers over there when they were getting run over, taking up for our city workers. Oh, that brings up another one. Mark Mache. That costed us so much lawsuits. Oh, that's where our money is going, right? That could have probably have been helped. But y'all want to sit here and talk about her. Well, you know what? Like that man said, we can vote you in, we can vote you out. Considering that she's been talked about, her family has been talked about like they're a dog. That she's getting work done on her house because the city's paying for it. That man right there has worked all of his life for his family. And y'all want to sit there because he can do better? Yeah, he got off the couch and had a job. Her daughter was talking about. Her friends was even talked about. And y'all think it's all funny, don't you? You know what? I don't think it's funny. Because if it was your kid getting talked about, you wouldn't think it was funny. Good. I hope they got it, but I don't think they did.
I don't know if I can top that, but I know I need to speak louder from last time. And I know I'll get booed, but I want to tell you right now, I don't give a damn because I'm tired of living in the armpit of Rutherford County. Okay, sorry. Can I use somebody else's name? Okay. I live at 431 Randall Lane, and I'm Deborah Hewen.
Thank you, ma'am.
I've lived in Laverne since 2000, when I first moved here, from Smyrna, and before that, Nashville. I'm also in real estate. I'm a single mom, a one-income person raising a child on her own with a dog and 2 cats and a house, and still making it happen every day because I pray to God to let Him see me through all the difficulties. Sometimes in the last minute, I have what I need. Today, I don't have what I need, but I know tomorrow I'll have what I need to make it, and it's on faith. But I can't make all of you be Christians and just believe you're going to be okay. Right now, I'm making a lot less than most seniors on fixed incomes. I promise you. I won't disclose it, the amount that I actually make. It's too embarrassing. I can't do real estate anymore because the whole country has turned upside down, not just Laverne, it's all across the country. Some places have it hit worse than we do. And, but I do know I'm tired of living in a no-class town that can't have enough police officers because it can't pay them a decent wage. I'm tired of not being able to pick the insurance company that I want to insure my home because Laverne has a worse rating than Antioch, Tennessee. Oh my goodness. Worse than Antioch. Can you imagine? Yes, ma'am. I just moved back here in Laverne 2 months ago. The insurance company I was with for years couldn't reinsure my house. You're shaking your head no. You need to give me some facts. I'm stating facts. Okay, another thing is, you know, we've always had a police shortage, and everybody's been screaming and hollering since 2000. We need more police. We need more police. Well, you know, somebody's finally going to take the bull by the horns and get us some more police officers. And do you know how much an alarm system costs you? An average alarm system is $29.99. And I think that's what the going rate is right now. It might have gone up. But do you know what? When you have someone break into your home, if you remember to set your alarm and your alarm goes off, guess what? The alarm company is going to call the city of Laverne and ask their police officers, we have an alarm going off. Can you put, oh, I'm sorry, there's only 2 of us on duty right now and one's at lunch. He'll be back in 10 minutes. Can you wait? I mean, give me a break, people. The amount your taxes, not your county taxes, the city has nothing to do with that. And your appraised value of your home has nothing to do with the city. But I'll tell you what, the amount that your taxes are going to go up are going to be far less than half of what the value of an alarm system each month is going to cost you. And you're going to get more officers as a result. You're not going to get a monitoring service, God knows where in the United States, that calls and go, "Are you okay? Oh, I'm calling the police." And then there's not enough police to call. I mean, give me a break. Use your heads. Be smart. Don't be like they talk about you in Laverne and everywhere, in Smyrna and everywhere else. Use your own heads. Quit listening to gossip. Read the budget. If you can't read the budget, take it to your tax man or something. Let him read it to you. Let him explain it to you, that we don't even have enough money in this year's budget to run this city with no changes at all the rest of this year. What does that tell you? They're upside down. And don't tell me they need to cut this and cut that. What can they cut? How many police officers can they cut? How many firemen? I've had a fire. Have you ever had a fire? Firemen were there just because they were close by. Just so happened, I got lucky. What if I hadn't been lucky? My house would have been burnt down and y'all would have been lucky, because you wouldn't have to listen to me, because I'm going to keep telling you until you use your own minds and your own heads and pray to God to give you the wisdom to understand the city's broke. There's a reason the city's broke, and you can't blame it on people that were on this thing. Well, not all the people that are up here on this administration. You've got 3 really exceptional, maybe 4 exceptional people up here. But when Cena was on that board before, she was 1 vote against 4 votes, always. I was at the meetings, I saw it time and time again. She was always outvoted. Nobody cared to listen, but she still stuck it out, even though she knew her vote wasn't going to count against the good old boy system, and she still stuck it out until now. And you should thank her. You should get down on your knees and thank God that He gave somebody with enough heart.
Ma'am. That's your time.
Well, okay, I get it. If you're not a Christian, get down on your knees and bow down to your devil.
That's your time. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor Mosley. My name's Ed Thornton. I've lived at 1706 George Thomas Drive since 1978. I've been here longer than, except for Sherry and Mr. Waldron. My question is this. You have the 5-year plan, and I'm not opposed to the tax increase as long as we have a return on investment. I was a purchasing manager at Nissan for 25 years. I want to know what we're getting for our money. Is there a timeline plan for the 5-year budget? Is that something that should be looked at by the citizens before this vote is taken tonight? Does that make sense? I think so. I'm not one to buy a pig in a poke. 25 years at Nissan, as a purchasing manager, I want to know, what are we getting? Do you have that? Can you present that before the vote? Somebody nod their head. Sherry?
We're supposed to let you guys talk.
Well, could that be looked at before this vote is taken forward? Mayor, can you nod your head?
This is y'all's time to talk. We are not fans.
Okay. I just wanted to know what we're getting. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Billy Eller. Some of you may know me. I own Merchandise Liquidators with 2 locations here in Laverne, one since 1983 and the other since 1998. With other rental properties, I don't understand, in the past we had an excess in the budget. Now with the population over 30,000 people, 10,000 people in the over in the past few years, with other businesses like KFC, CVS, and Rite Aid paying property taxes, why are we broke? With the reappraisal from 2009 to 2010, my property taxes went up 69%. Now in 2011, you're going up again. I can't go up on my stuff, as now I'm paying in property taxes to the city and county, which I know the county don't have anything to do with the topic of tonight, but almost $700 a week in property taxes. Y'all need to come up with some new ideas. Start with one, maybe cutting the mayor's salary in half. Please, all of y'all, reevaluate this. Maybe stop spending money like going to Vegas to get new businesses. I know there'll be plenty of empty buildings in the future for them to take over. My dad was a policeman in Nashville, so I know we need new police cars, but maybe not all at once. They kept some of the older cars that were still performing well. Also, the last I heard, Bridgestone Firestone didn't pay property taxes. I don't see how that's fair, and if I'm mistaken about that, I'm sorry. And as for hiring new firemen, doesn't Mr. Gafford still own the fire department? And they do a good job. Maybe some of the upper staff at the fire department could take a little pay cut to help hire some of the new firemen. I've personally cut some of my privileges so I didn't have to cut any of my employees' hours. And I believe there's only one person on the board tonight that meets the payroll. You're wanting to spend $487,000 on 10 tornado sirens, which after about 3 times of them going off, nobody pays attention to them after that. I can understand maybe putting one at the park so the people can get home and, you know, these Channel 2 and Channel 4 and Channel 5 now, they can pinpoint the tornado at almost the exact time and the exact locations. And I did notice last week at the meeting we had 8 police officers here. Were they on overtime? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. The podium is open for comments. Sir?
My name is Harold G. Pittigo. I live at 151 Von Wood Drive. I've been here about 17 years. And I can't speak for everybody. We've had good comments and balance here. And I don't know, my background, I grew up as a farm boy. I raised farm, I raised cattle, corn, all that kind of stuff, had small businesses, and I've always had to live in my means. And of course, I live out here this way. And I see all the bells and whistles and all of this stuff that I just heard in the last 2 weeks that y'all wanting to get. And we don't live in a perfect world no more. And it's nice to have all this stuff. And so I got to go back in history. I grew up in Kentucky in the 30s and the 40s. We lived in a town of 5,500 people. We had 2 policemen, 1 police car, 1 fire truck. Nobody rode a bus to school. If you went to school, you walked to school. Your mom and daddy got you there. We lived in our means. Our taxes were low. It was a time, if you made $5 a day, you made big money. But we don't live in those times no more. And it's nice to have all of these niceties. And I can start criticizing some of the things I see around Laverne. But all I'm saying is I don't go along with a 100% increase in taxes. I wish that everybody in here had the option of voting to say, yes, we approve this or we approve that. The gentleman said, well, you know, we need a budget. We need to know what you're going to spend this money for. And when I farmed for a living, I was very successful. But I had to pay my bills. The bank didn't loan me free money. I had to pay it back. So I had to have a balanced budget. And so when you live on a balanced budget, you learn to live within your means. If we sold corn for $1.05, we got by on $1.05. We sold it for $2, we got by on $2. We had some extra money, so we bought bologna. Whatever it come up. I just wish that y'all would be conservative, look at what you're trying to do, and I'd really wish that the people in Laverne could have a say-so about what we approve or don't approve, because we're the ones that's going to pay for it. We hold y'all responsible. We can vote you in, vote you out, but we may get another one just like you. I don't know. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. The podium is open.
My name is Laura Dolph. I live at 307 Hank Aaron Cove, and I've worked with, gosh, the firemen, the policemen. I've taken classes. I really love this city. I know we need a tax increase because we do need more firemen, we do need more policemen. But my golly days, we do not need this large of an increase right now. We just got the sewage and water increase. I'm sorry, you know, we're still reeling from that. Laverne is still a depressed area as far as employment. If you just look around where people are living, there are so many foreclosed and abandoned homes because people can't afford to, you know, they just couldn't afford to live there. We don't want Laverne to turn into a town like that. And, you know, I'm not going to move because the taxes are increased. I know that everything, you all have probably made up your minds and you're listening to us, but you're probably going to increase the taxes like this anyway. But please just remember that it's our shoulders that this monster tax increase is going to be on. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Podium is open.
Good evening, Mayor, Aldermen. My name is Mary Jane Skinner. I live at 792 Stones River Road. We bought the property in 1961. We moved there in 1962. So that tells you how long I have been here. We live here. Our children grew up here. They went to school here. We had to fight to get Roy Waldron School. We had to fight to get the Lake School. We had to fight to get the middle school. We're proud of our county. We're proud of our city. My family is anyway. We fought to get city water down to my house. We had to haul water when they started building Lake Forest because it messed up our well. We had to haul it every day. I was working 2 jobs. But we paid to have our water put in. Now we're fighting for sewage. I know they're saying, no, you don't want to pay sewage. Well, when you have to get your septic tank pumped out as often as we do because of the drainage situation here in Laverne, that tells me something. I'm against the tax because we just got the sewer and water, which I don't pay sewage, but I do pay water. And I'm on a fixed income tax. I'm retired. My husband's retired. And we're on fixed income. And with that little extra, as they say, 100% that's going up on taxes, that's going to hurt us real bad. I know that it has to be done. I think we have the finest police force anywhere around. I've traveled a lot in my years. And I still say Laverne has a lot of room to grow. Laverne has grown since I've been here. And I was glad to see it grow, and I will be glad to see it grow, but not taxing us the way it's going to be, because that's going to hurt. Not only me, but everybody else in here that are on fixed income. I'm an elderly senior citizen. I may not like it like sometimes, but I am. But I would like to say, please consider raising taxes, because it's just going to hurt. It really will hurt. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. The podium is open.
Hi, my name is Luis Vera. I live at 1708 Newport Place. I actually grew up on Parish Street, been in the city for 33 years. Miss Skinner was actually my lunch lady at Waldron. The thing about it is today the vote is going to happen. The only thing that we can pray and hope for is that you will table it, reconsider the vote. I understand we got to raise the taxes. I don't have a problem with raising the taxes. The increase itself may be a little bit harsh for most people. I've talked to Tom. I know Tom personally. Don't know all of you personally. I know of you, but not personally. The room is pretty much divided between who are supporters of the mayor and who are supporters of Mr. Waldron. I mean, that's it. I'm a supporter of Laverne. I love Laverne. I've lived in Laverne all my life. I want to continue living in Laverne. I will. If you increase it by the 100%, we're going to have to deal with it. But I would just really hope that you would consider tabling it for tonight, going back and looking at what you can take out, because there's still other things you can take out. The tornado sirens can be taken out. They don't have to be in there. Other things can be put off a little bit further. Just reconsider it. Thank you.
The podium is open.
My name is David McClure. I live at 124 Woody Thomas Drive. I've been here since '71. I've raised my kids here or in this city, and they went to the schools that's been here. We've put up with all the increases that we've had over the years. I mean, somehow I'm still working, so I still got a means to be able to afford it if I have to. I just didn't want to have to. I don't agree with it. And at the amount that you're going for, you know, 50% or of that, maybe, but it just seems like a little much right now. I guess that's about all I got to say.
Thank you, sir. Podium is open. Would anyone like to speak? Please approach.
I have lived in Laverne all my life, and we done just fine, and we didn't need the taxes raised.
Excuse me, ma'am. I hate to interrupt. Will you please state your name and your address?
Oh, Gail Warpook, 458 on Nashville Highway.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I don't see no sense in raising the taxes. You can find another way to get money. Because if it happens, Laverne's going to be a ghost town. And I think it's pretty silly if we raise them taxes in Laverne. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Ann Baird Cox. I live on the new Waldron Road, which is a disaster area. I'm not from here, so I think I have a different perspective on what you all are doing. And I do have a couple of questions. First one is, are you going to reserve the tax rate that you have now and not raise it on the senior citizens? Are you going to keep the tax rate that you have now and not raise it on senior citizens?
Ma'am, that's a rhetorical question. They're not expected to respond. Please share with us, though, your thoughts. Share with us your thoughts.
Share my thoughts?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, as I said, I'm not from here, and I think this is a disaster area. You're raising the water, you're raising the sewer, and I understand that this was done 55 years ago, and none of you are responsible for that. But I think you need to think about what you're doing too, and look around this room. What is the demographics of this room? Mostly seniors, or at least we have gray hair. So that was my only question. Are you going to keep that as a base for the senior citizens, or are you going to raise their taxes 100% also? And then my next question is, what percentage of this tax raise are you going to reserve for police, firemen, and rescue? Now, if you've thought about a tax raise, you pretty well know where you're going with the budget. And I think instead of sort of being under the table with this, you need to come out and be upfront with everybody. Because as I said, I'm not from here, but I am very political. And I grew up on Capitol Hill, so I sort of know where we're going with this. I just want you to take a good hard look at what you're doing to your demographics. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
First of all, I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone. I'm glad everyone is here. As a former city employee, I know what it's like to have to work a short shift.
I'm sorry, sir. Please state your name and your address.
My name is James Rose. I live in the Pinnacle Point subdivision, south end of the city.
Thank you, sir.
As I stated before, as a former city police officer, I know what it's like to have to work a short shift. And unfortunately, we need more police officers. We need more firemen. I'm sick and tired of our police officers having to go to calls short-staffed. I know a lot of you have crime concerns because of the crime and everything that comes out of Davidson County, but unfortunately, as more people move into this city, things are not going to change. They're going to get worse. And unfortunately, during this time of year and during economic time, crime does go up. As you can see, we've had police officers killed at record numbers over the last few years. And we do need more police officers. We need more fire. We need more services. And until we get a tax increase, it's not going to change. I know a lot of people are against the tax increase, but things have been done in this city for a long time, and it has created a nightmare for the current administration. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, sir. And the podium is open. Will the next speaker? Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, Aldermen, citizens. My name is Linda Tomlin. I live at 129 Highland Street. This gentleman may be right. We may need more police officers and firemen, but we also need jobs in Laverne. I worked at Whirlpool for 23 years until they closed up shop, and then a lot of the other companies closed up shop along with them. We may need tax increases, but like everybody else has said, not all at one time. And I know there's some that wants to make fun and think it's funny that, you know, they've got jobs they can afford to pay. That's great. I'm happy for anybody that's still got a job. But a lot of us don't, and we have a lot of seniors on fixed incomes that cannot afford this. We're being hit by the federal government, the state government, and now our local governments. We can only give so far. And I ask, too, that you reconsider this huge tax increase along with the water and the sewer. Do it a little at a time, and at least give people a halfway decent chance to be able to stay in their homes, pay their bills, feed their children. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The podium is open. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Vonda Jenkins, and I live on Meadow Lane off of Stone Ridge.
and I want to speak on behalf of the seniors. I have a discussion and a thought about raising taxes for the seniors. I think that it would be a real major hardship. I think it is very important to allow seniors to stay in their homes as long as they possibly can, and raising taxes for seniors at least, I think that would make it almost impossible for this to happen. I know there are a lot of programs set up to assist seniors to stay home as long as possible, so that they don't have to go into nursing homes or other places. So I would ask that you, when you're considering raising the taxes, can you please consider being merciful to the seniors? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The podium is open. Will the next speaker please approach?
My name's Edward Jones. I live on Shallow Drive in Haley Hills. Last week I was opposed to the tax increase. Looking at the police officer we have now, you know, if a lot of the parents had done their jobs at home now, like mine did when I was raised, we wouldn't need as many police officers. We got the gangs out here, Lake Forest, trouble over all the time, you know, kids trying to kill their parents. And, you know, we need more police officers and firefighters. And I thank Ms. Mosley for having the balls to stand up to the good old boy system running for mayor. I agree that they need to look at their tax revenue coming in from businesses. You got some businesses paying $14 a year taxes. You got some business paying $16. You got some that I was looking at it today online. Anybody can go online and look at the taxes. You know, put anybody's name in there and they come up. You got some paying $16 and they ain't showed no taxes been paid since 2006. You got some that's overdue. You know, and I got a grandkid that's living in Lake Forest, and 3-year-old. He can't play out in the front yard for the cars running up and down the road. You know, across the street from me, you know, they got the little club out here with the little cars with the loud mufflers. My wife's been going through chemo, and one night at 2:30 here, they're sitting out in front of the house playing Lady Gaga or somebody, you know, with racing a motor up. You know, I got up and I called the police on them. Well, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, a kid hit a mailbox coming in the backside of Haley Hills on Sanders. Knocked it down. He slid all the way up to somebody else's house. You know, we need more police officers. I agree, we need to look at the tax. Everybody's taxes. You know, but I went from making almost $60,000 a year down in the low 20s. I have a daughter at MTSU. You know, I'm still making it. You know, I can cut the Tennessean out for my property tax each month. You know, same old shit every day anyway. You know, you get it on the internet, watch Channel 5, Channel 2, Channel 4. You know, people griping over $12 a month or $15. You spend that in one day eating out, you know. When I grew up, you didn't eat out. You packed your lunch and took it with you, you know. You didn't have a latte machine, you know, so I think, you know, I'm you know, I don't really agree with some of the stuff the city does as far as people's taxes, but smile, Mr. Walter, you know, but maybe the good old boy system maybe is about out of the table up here. You know, it's been too long. The convenience center had to move because of the builder was going to build some $280,000 houses across the street. What they got over there, 120, 130. You know, these builders, you know, the builders are most of the problem in Lake Forest, you know. We get you in for $500, you know. I signed with one of the builders before, Jerry Butler. I lost over $2,000 and you know, he's screwing around with the house. So, you know, these builders, maybe they're not running the city no more. Or, you know, pat you on the shoulder and got the hand out back. You know, so we need to change. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Chavis. I live at 614 Maple Drive.
I just want to remind you, the money you take out of our pockets for taxes is money you'll be taking away from the businesses here because we won't have it to spend at the businesses. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please approach. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Nina Brooks, and I live in the Morningside subdivision. I didn't come down here really tonight to speak, but to listen. And the more I listen, it seems like the same old story's been told over and over and over again. That right now is not a good time in this economy to be raising taxes, especially when you're doubling it. You already raised our water rates. That's going to hurt people. Me personally, I'm a senior citizen, just like a lot of the other people here in this room, and everything has gone up this year except for our salaries. Mine went down. So I'm having to live even tighter, and my belt is getting real tight. And my house notes have gone up simply because of taxes going up, insurance going up, everything else. Is it going to get to the point that the senior citizens are literally going to have to starve themselves to death just to get out of the, to not even live because everything keeps going up? I can't see it. And what I would like to know personally too is there going to be some way that the senior citizens can freeze their taxes like we do the Rutherford County taxes. I was annexed into the city. I didn't want that. And personally, I haven't been given everything that the city said they were going to give. It gets to the point that people can't really, truly trust the city council to do what they promised before they're elected to do, or before they move on to something else. Sure, we need more police protection because look what we've got here. We've got a bedroom community. You got a bedroom community, you're going to have more crime. You're going to have more of everything else that's going on in the city. You need that, sure you need it, but not all at one time. And if you're talked about going 5 years down the road of what you wanted to do or not to do, well, 5 years down the road, a little at a time, but not all at once. I thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker, please.
Good evening, John Privette, 200 Blue Lake Lane. I'm retired from the military, 2002, and a citizen of Laverne since then. And I don't have deep pockets to, for the 100% taxes. And I do believe in the law enforcement, but I think a gradual increase, I have no objection to, but the 100% is a little too much as everything else is going up, and some things are not. But I just want to say that as a citizen of Laverne, I'm against the 100% at least.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Howard Woody, Morningside Acres. I'm for the taxes. We need more policemen, more firemen, and whatever. And if this don't go through, it won't be 6 months, y'all be hollering, we ain't got enough policemen. And I'm on a fixed income. I say raise the taxes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
My name is Gene Biggs, and I live in Walton Ridge Estates, and I've been out here about 25 years. Well, I'm on a fixed income now. I don't like it, but I can't do nothing about it. And these taxes y'all are putting on me and my wife are really hurting. And this right here is going to take even more away from us. We can't get insurance. Our Social Security has been over 2 years since we had a raise in it. And I think you really ought to consider that about the seniors in a way. Now, when I was working 2-3 years ago, I could afford your tax raise. but I'm a senior now, and we just can't afford it. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please. Sir?
My name is Brian Roberge, 133 Bonwood Drive. I have 3 points I'd like to make. First, I sat on that side of the table for about 10 years. Following every meeting, I had always a group of citizens after the meeting or later in the week who would tell me everything I did wrong. I would encourage every one of them to take my place if they wanted to. Not one came forward. Sitting on that side of the table is extremely difficult. I applaud them all for doing the public service they do. Second, I'm a businessman. I doubled my business this past year by hiring 100 new people in this time of down economy. I will grow the business another 50% this year because I did not duck and cover like everyone here is saying. You've got to look at the positive opportunities at any given time. The third point I'd like to make to the mayor and aldermen, you have an obligation for the trust of these people. If you need this money, you need to do it in a wise and way and take opportunities that provide for the long term of Laverne. I applaud you for taking opportunities in this time of down economy. I just encourage you, do not squander the trust of the citizens of Laverne. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Next speaker, please. Would someone like to speak? The podium is open. Yes, ma'am.
Corinne Wilson, 481 Hollandale Road. I, too, would like to not have a tax increase, but I also like to see these policemen out patrolling. I live near Lake Forest. I hear sirens almost every night, daily. They're everywhere. For all of those who are questioning it, do you know that at some points in time there may only be 5 police officers patrolling and out on the streets for 32,000 people? Does that make you feel safe? Doesn't me. If I have a fire at my house, the closest fire hydrant to my house is a half a mile. That's pretty scary. I lost a very old house on my property because we couldn't get enough water. We need the increase for safety. Those of you who are questioning where's the money going, the budget is posted on the city website. Any of these people will be glad to show it to you and go over it. It's been there, it's been offered. Yeah, maybe 100% is a little bit steep for all of us. I could cut it, and it would be nice for me too. But I don't want to sacrifice the safety of myself or my family or my neighbors because we don't have money to support the police officers, the firemen who put their lives on daily on the line for all of us. And yeah, they may have 45 people employed in the police department, but that's the whole department. It's not your patrolling officers. These guys are pulling probably still 2 shifts at a time or more just to be able to be out there. Their safety should be in our minds as well because they're there to protect us. So when you complain about it, before you complain about it, sit down and look at the budget. Stay for the meeting. Most of you will leave. I've seen it happen. You won't stay for the meeting where it'll be discussed, it'll be talked to. about, it'll be posted up here so you can see it. You know, you need to really do due diligence on what's going on here, because every one of us wants a safe environment for our families. Thank you.
I spoke before, and I just want to make one point if I could. I keep hearing about hiring more policemen, but I see here that the local taxes are going to increase some $4.5 million, yet the safety department's expenditures are going to only increase $500,000. So this is not about more police and firemen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
Tori Venable. I too have already spoken. I'll keep this very short. I too have taken my due diligence and looked at the budget. And you know, one of the main things that I saw where the increases are is the increasing health care cost or the health insurance for city employees. Now, I work for the state. And do you know what the state did when we had our budget crisis? Guess who gets to pay for the increase in health insurance? The state employees do. So maybe you should actually take a page from the state and consider fronting some of the cost yourselves for the additional health care cost. Also, I looked at, you know, it was said that no one is going to increase the city employees' wages, but yet looking at the budget, the city administrator, the city recorder, both of them are making between $16,000 and $20,000 more a year than it was budgeted for. Now, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but that's just what the paper says. That's just what I saw. So if there was some other reason behind it, so be it. Another thing I saw, you know, a lot of this tax increase is supposed to go to improve the roads. And roads need to be improved. I'm not saying that they don't need to be improved. But when you have a situation where you're paying $500,000 for a sidewalk because you were supposed to get an 80-20 grant, and I can't look in that paperwork and find where that 80-20 grant lines up with that sidewalk, well, if you don't get the grant, then you don't need to do the project, period. That's all there is to it. Let's have a little fiscal responsibility here. Thank you.
Next speaker, please. Would anyone like to speak?
I didn't use my 5 minutes the first time around. But I do want to appeal to you because I believe you have a heart. And while some people are doing very well in this economy, and bless them, there are people that are really hurting. There are people that are doing everything that they're supposed to be doing. They're working, supporting their families, not on welfare, not costing you anything, contributing. But it's not just senior citizens. It's parents that's working 2 jobs, paying taxes, with families that are struggling. And I only just appeal to your conscience to realize that if the city can live with less, it would be great help to those people who are struggling, who will perhaps fall through the cracks. So on the basis, I stand here really on the basis that God is really on the side of the poor. And any nation or any people that oppresses its poor, prosperity is not really long for them.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Jason Cole. I live off 7115 Beard Court. I'm a parent. I work 2 jobs. I work from home and I also work a regular business. I support the tax increase. To say we don't need an increase is to say we don't need police. We don't need fire. We need those services. Right now, everyone complains crime in Lake Forest, crime here, crime there. Without police, we can't do anything about it. People aren't taking the initiative, so we need these extra services. They're desperately needed. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am?
Hi, I'm Evelyn Hall, 101 Jackson Court. I actually go by Lynn. If I hadn't heard that there was going to be a doubling of the taxes, I would not have printed off the budget. But that kind of had an impact on me, so I did. During the recession, past and present, I work in the automotive business. We had to fire people. We had to cut hours. I got a cut in pay. And as a previous speaker, as a previous speaker said, when health insurance costs went up, my owner of the company was not able to take in that cost. The employees had to do it or do without. I'd like to, if you would, look at your budget and see if those are costs that could be maybe reconsidered and not increased. Bonus pays. We didn't get bonus pay. We didn't get Christmas bonuses. You have to take a look at what's available and don't just put it in the budget because it's been there before. Thank you.
Would anyone like to speak? The podium is open. Would anyone like to speak? Last call. That concludes the public forum. We'll open it.
Hi, my name is Pamela Bowman, and please excuse my dress. I forgot about the meeting tonight, but I wanted to attend tonight because I've been a resident since 1988. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I am what worldly people would call really not an important person because I'm at home taking care of my family. This is very difficult for me to do, but I'm not for or against the tax increase, but I don't want my taxes going towards this police department that is ruining my life. This police department, this man right here was laughing that my husband's going to lose his job for being on the sex registry when he's not supposed to be there. In 1993, I went forward to the police thinking, because I'm a little bit of an overprotective mother, I went to the police thinking that my husband had touched my daughter, but he was just playing with her with a hose, and I don't have anybody to turn to. He laughed at me because my husband didn't touch her.
Yes, ma'am. We'll talk to you about it. Would someone like to speak about the ordinance? The public forum is to speak about the ordinance. Would anyone like to speak? Hearing none, that concludes the public forum. I'd like to thank every member of the audience, speakers, for sharing their thoughts, bringing across very important points from the heart and from the mind. I'd like to thank the crowd for restraining yourselves and giving the speakers respect. I think we all treat each other with respect tonight, and I appreciate that. Mayor Mosley, I recommend you close the forum.
The public hearing is now closed. We'll take a brief 5-minute recess, restroom break, if that's okay with everybody, and we'll immediately return. We are now going to begin the regular meeting for June 7th, 2011, the regular meeting. We do have a quorum. Our prayer tonight will be by Alderman Green, and our pledge will be by Alderman Waldron. Stand, please.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the blessings you've given to each and every one of us. And dear God, none of us are worthy of all the things you give to us. And Lord, we just thank you for each person that was here tonight, and we just pray that whatever we do in this meeting tonight, dear God, that we're led by you, and we feel for each and every one. Most of us are all in the same situation. And Lord, we pray for each citizen, and we pray blessings on each home in this city, God. There's so many that's hurting and so many needs. And for our seniors, we do, Lord, we have feelings for them. And we just ask that you would be with each one of us as we try to make our decision. And again, dear God, just go with us and help us to make the right one. And we thank you for all that you give to us. Most of all, we thank you for sending your only Son to die for us, that we might live with you forever. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Face the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll begin with our department reports. Fire department.
Minutes.
Oh, minutes, I am so sorry. I do need a motion to approve or to deny the minutes from the May 3rd, 2011.
Before we do that, it was an item last week, last month that was missed, and did y'all get that straightened out in the minutes? It was something about a resolution.
The resolution, yes, sir.
Yeah, it was
we got
straightened
the
out.
numbers straightened out.
Okay.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve or to deny?
Motion to accept.
I have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Now, Mr. Ricky, you may come.
Mayor, Alderman, for the month of May 2011, we had a total of 74 calls, consisted of 1 structure fire, 13 fire alarms, 1 vehicle fire, 1 hazardous materials call, 13 motor vehicle accidents, 22 medical calls, 17 emergency miscellaneous calls, and 6 non-emergency miscellaneous calls. The average response time for the month of May 2011 was 2.7 minutes, and the water consumption for the same month, 2011, was 525 gallons. Any questions?
Any questions from this board? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Police Department, we'd like to welcome Mr. Kyle Narrod for being with us tonight. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mayor. Board of Aldermen. For the monthly activity for May 2011, the Police Department, total calls was 2,842. 66 of those were accident calls, 194 alarms, 111 ambulance assist, 48 motorist assist, 63 domestics, 24 burglaries, 36 thefts. We had 155 arrests. Out of those, 9 were DUI, 31 were for driver license violations, 24 drug-related offenses. Total citations were 915, with a deposit of $33,785.35. Any questions?
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Okay, Codes Department.
Mayor, Alderman, for the month of May 2011, the Codes Department issued 2 single-family dwelling permits, 2 commercial permits, 8 miscellaneous permits, 2 sign permits, 3 garage and shed permits. Total number of permits issued for the month was 17. Complaints called in for the month was 368 for tall grass, 24 for junk cars and yards, 25 for trash and yards, and 28 other. Impact fees for the month was $1,768 for road, $622 for park, $224 for police, Monthly revenue with impact fees was $8,739.69. Total number of single-family permits issued year-to-date is 8. Total number of single-family permits issued during the same time period in 2010 was 29. Total number of all permits issued this year-to-date is 82.
Any questions? Finance?
Parks and Recs.
Oh, I was just skipping right along. I'm sorry, Ms. Donna, Parks and Rec.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen, good evening. In May, of course, with the warm weather and the cicadas singing, the park has been really, really busy. If you will notice, our pavilion rentals were up. We had an attendance of 620 out enjoying the beautiful weather. Along with the warm weather, of course, our ball fields have been really busy with all of our leagues. We've had our inline hockey, the soccer, the football, and our ball fields have all been very, very full with all the children out enjoying that. We do appreciate Ricky McCormick and Chris Farmer, who always help provide medical service during our ball tournaments. We did have a ball tournament in May. We are having 3 in June. It's wonderful to have them out providing that service. Along with our Laverne Police Department, the reserve officers are always there to help provide protection. And believe me, the people who come out to the park notice when they are there and they appreciate it. Visitors in the park for May, the cars that we had were 22,932. So our average is 2.5 people per car. So we had about 67,000 visitors in the park in May. The Great American Duck Race that is sponsored, partnered with the library and the Parks and Rec Department will be this Thursday at 10 a.m. and I believe Teresa is going to give us more information. Our Senior Citizens Advisory Committee meeting will be Thursday, June the 16th at 4 p.m. And the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee meeting will be Monday, June 20th at 6 p.m. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Thanks, Ms. Clark.
Thank you.
Okay. Phyllis, Finance?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor and Alderman. Tonight's financial report represents numbers for the first 10 months of this fiscal year, with the year of the month ending April the 30th. Year-to-date for the general fund, revenues have exceeded expenses by $277,476. Sales tax year-to-date, we've collected $2.7 million. That's approximately $200,000 better than budget and approximately $311,000 better than prior year at this point in time. State Street Aid Fund, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $593,000. Stormwater revenues have exceeded expenses by approximately $478,000. And in our water and sewer fund, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $2.4 million. On the second page is our balances and our cash balances in our various bank accounts. And on the third page is a comparison to prior year. In the general fund, as compared to last year at this time, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $128,000. In our water and sewer fund, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $949,000. Any questions?
You said the water department is exceeded $2.7 million.
2.4 million.
2.4. What was the cause of that?
Well, we had the lawsuit, of course, which is $850,000, and then we've had increase in some of the chemical that we're using, and we've also had the sewer rate went up again this year in the middle of the year. Okay. So the combination, those are the 3 top factors of that.
Okay. Thank you, Phyllis.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Librarians?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Aldermen. In May 2011, the library checked out 9,959 items. We had 10,272 patrons visit the library with an average per day of 447. We issued 54 new juvenile cards and 139 new adult cards last month. We ran 27 programs in May with a total attendance of 706. We had 3,817 people come in to use our computers last month. So we had two big events in May. The first one was our spring book sale. We did pretty well, thanks to the generous donations of our patrons, our citizens. We raised over $800. We really appreciate that support and thank everybody for coming out that day. The second big event was the following Saturday on the 14th. It was our second annual treasure hunt. It went really well. Paula ran the show this year, but everyone on the staff helped out. It was a true team effort. So I would like to thank my staff for the work they did. I think all the kids that participated enjoyed it very much. Children's staff really got into the event. They each led a team of children around the library to the various points, and they got a little competitive. We did have one team win, Miss Lorna's team. Those children won prizes, but everybody got pizza, so I think it was okay by everybody. Summer readings started officially on June 1st. We would like to thank Mayor Mosley for coming out on the 2nd to introduce our first show of the summer, Bruce Amato, and for getting the audience really excited to read this year. And I'd like to remind everybody that we have programs for people of all ages. Even for those of you who might not like to read so much, we have something for you too. As Donna mentioned, we have the duck race coming this Thursday. If you'll come to the library at 10 o'clock, decorate a duck, if you're a child that is. We'll send them up the river outside. Public Works has graciously offered to help us out by turning the hydrant on that day. So it'll be a good time. Are there any questions for me?
Have you ever lost any ducks?
We have not.
I
We
read
catch
in
them
the
at the
paper
end of
today that Smyrna had theirs the 1st of June, and they hadn't lost no ducks.
We haven't lost a duck yet.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Water treatment plant?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen. What I have to present is for the month recap of April of this year compared to 2010. Our water production, basically the same, within 2 million gallons from year to year. All of our testing results are well within the standards and perimeters we test for. Chemical usage compared to 1 year, some chemicals up, some chemicals down, depending on mainly with the water we get from the lake itself. Our maintenance for the month of April was at $2,023.34. The total for our maintenance year is a little under $9,000, which leaves us about $12,000 ahead right now, because we have a few items coming up in the near months that are going to take up some of that monies. Our work orders, we had 22 active, which is preventive maintenance around the plant, 3 that were reactive, unplanned ones. Customer service complaints, we had 6 calls on pressure and none on water quality for the month of April. Our cross-connection program, units discovered so far is 620, and the inspections collected for the month was at $1,260.
Any questions?
What time of the month do the state come in and grade our water? I knew a couple of years ago we was at 30, 36. And I think last year we got it up to 97.
97, 2 years in a row, right? It's usually the latter part of summer. It'll be in August, September. It's an annual inspection.
But everything looks good out there?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Thomas, I understand you're starting a special testing program soon?
Yeah, we will be doing the next 3 months doing our lead and copper, and it's predetermined at 35 residents around the city. It's a lot of resident participation. We go out, actually explain to them what we're doing, and they take a sample at their first draw in the morning to see if there's any lead leaching from their pipes themselves. Laverne doesn't have any, in their system, we don't have any lead pipes, but some of the older houses use the lead in their soldering the copper pipes. So this is mainly for the customer convenience to let them know what's going on with it. And they changed it this year. Every house that we test will receive a letter from us with the results on it.
Thank you. Membrane filter still up and running?
Very good, yes. Yeah, it produces, we run probably about 8 hours a day, and it produces about 150,000 gallons that are put back into the system.
That's water we would have lost otherwise.
Yeah, water that was going to to Metro wastewater.
How much water y'all produce in a day?
Right now, it's about 3.5 million a day.
And we're capable of doing
The plant's rated at 10.
10 million, so we're not even at half yet.
No, no. With the hydraulic parts of it, we can only pump out about 3.8 million a day is some of the restrictions in the lines that are present.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Public Works. While Gary comes to the podium, we also want to welcome Mr. Mike Walker back. He's been under the weather, and it's good seeing you out there in the audience once again. Welcome back.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen. The monthly report for Public Works, we'll start with the street department. We had 103 chipper calls and actually done 715 addresses. We utilized 651 hours from the workhouse and 528 hours of mowing. And for the sewer department, they had 119 work orders, 165 hours of overtime. They have their new camera, and they're currently working in Farmingdale and Dove Creek and have found several problems with inflow and infiltration there. And the water department, they had 116 hours of overtime, mainline break at Lake Forest, and 1 service line break, and 82 regular work orders. And their special project, of course, is the Walden Road 24-inch main. And that's what I have for Public Works. Any questions?
Only thing I've got a lot of calls from the old Dove Creek subdivision, Hollandale, about a lot of brush on the side of the road. But I've noticed riding around, it's everywhere. But I told a couple of residents over there that I'd bring it up to y'all's attention in the.
It's on our list.
Yeah, but y'all been doing a good job. It's everywhere.
Yep.
But I appreciate the good work y'all done.
Yes, sir. The storm at the 1st of May kind of set us back a little bit, but we're still on schedule. So.
Any other questions?
How often do y'all do the brush pickups?
Excuse me?
How often do y'all do brush pickups on the side of the road?
Well, we do it every day.
We're trying to get our area over in Shiloh, had all those trees fall down during the last big windstorm. We have a neighbor's tree that was a peach tree or pear tree. Excuse me.
If we can just go on, Gary, if you can meet with him, maybe outside and talk with him.
I thought you asked the question, and I thought it was awful.
But he can meet with you afterward, be happy to get those. Okay. All right, at this time, we've got some fun stuff to do. And if y'all will bear with me, I don't have a pocket. Got a couple of presentations here. We're kind of doing something to kind of build the morale here with our city employees. And what we're doing, we're looking at doing an Employee of the Month. This is our 2nd month that we have done this. And I'd like to read this, please. The City of Laverne Certificate of Appreciation is hereby granted to Kyle Brown for your dedication and hard work as city engineer. The city hereby recognizes you as the Employee of the Month for June 2011 and thanks you for the excellent work you do for the City of Laverne. Kyle, if you'll come up, and I'm going to tell a little bit about you. For those of you that do not know Kyle, he has done an excellent job. We have been in the middle of the Walden Road project now. What a lot of people don't understand, that is not the City of Laverne, that is the state and LoJack. Yes, it is our money, but they'll let you know real quick that we have no input, or they try to say that we don't. Kyle goes to those meetings, he attends them regularly, and I guarantee you he's right in there fighting for this city and for what's going on here. And he doesn't back down. And Kyle, you're very, very much appreciated and very worthy of this award, and thank you very much. Thank you. Next, this is kind of a sad and happy. We have someone that's He's retiring and he's leaving us and he's going to do his honey-do list at home. So his wife says. And we'd like to take this opportunity to recognize him. City of Laverne Certificate of Appreciation is hereby granted to Cecil Painter. For your dedication and hard work for the City of Laverne, the city hereby congratulates you on your retirement and thanks you for your 18 and a half years of service to our community. We wish you the best in everything you do in the future. Cecil, if you'll come up. Your work's cut out for you. Cecil retired as of May the 31st or May 30th? 30th. And like I said, his wife told me she's already got that list and it is growing. So good luck, Cecil, and thank you for your service. I believe we have some presentations now. You need my mic? I'll go.
We have a couple of awards here for a couple of officers. If they would come up, Sergeant Davis and Officer Cherie Robertson. These awards were recommended by Vice Mayor Farmer. Back in March of this year, we responded to a shooting call. These officers gave medical aid to a gunshot victim and were able to help him in staying alive until medical personnel responded. Would you like to
I'd be
give it to
honored.
him?
This is Outstanding Service awarded to Sergeant Burl Chip Davis for your outstanding service to our community as a police officer. While being one of the first officers on the scene of a shooting, you worked with your fellow officers to immediately administer medical aid to the shooting victim and remain calm in a critical and stressful situation. Your actions preserved the life of the victim until medical personnel could respond to the scene and take over primary care of the injured. Congratulations, and thank you so much for your service. Outstanding Service awarded to Officer Cherie Robertson for your outstanding service to our community as a police officer. While being one of the first officers on the scene of a shooting, you worked with your fellow officers to immediately administer medical aid to the shooting victim and remained calm in a critical and stressful situation. Your actions preserved the life of the victim and until medical personnel could respond to the scene and take over primary care of the injured. Job well done. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Next, we'll move right into the old business. Number 4, second reading, ordinance 2011-11, an ordinance of the City of Laverne, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2011, and ending June 30th, 2012. I need a motion to either pass or to deny. Once we get those in order, then we may discuss it further.
Motion to deny.
Okay, I have a motion to deny. Do I have a second? I have a motion to deny. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a second. Motion to deny and second by Alderman Green. All right, I will open the floor up for discussion.
Well, I guess I made the motion, so I'm going to start it off. This tax increase that I've been against is just way too much, 50%. You know, double the taxes. You know, we just don't need that much at this time. If it passes tonight, we're going to have $600,000 left over. And we go to the last item, water treatment plant. There's want to be some work done on the water treatment plant over there. It's going to run probably $1.5 million. I toured the water treatment plant with the rest of these board members, just taking that out of context. You know, it needs cleaning. It needs maybe some painting over there, but spending $1.5 million on the water treatment plant right now is probably unnecessary. If we pass this tax tonight, this city will go into a spending spree. Every pet project everybody's got is going to be passed. We just need to slow down. Don't blame nobody. Just work together, and we can pull a special meeting, advertise it 3 days, and we need to come back with a lower rate that everybody can live with. You know, I've got a bunch of stuff I can say. I've studied on this thing for 2 weeks, but basically, we need to kill this thing tonight. And I hope it passes. I hope it passes to kill it.
Any other discussion? I would like to, the only thing I have to say is I know we need to do it, and the people know we need to do it. But I wish it would be done gradually, and I've brought that up at the workshop, that if it could be done gradually, that's nice.
And another thing, I wasn't at the workshop, and I regret that. I don't miss many workshops or meetings, and I think you brought up about, you know, when you was mayor, you suggested a 17-cent property tax back then. And I know 2 of the board members that's on here now was against it, and I was one of them. You know, I think you tried to do, when you was mayor, you tried to set us forward a gradually thing, and at that time it wasn't, we went and got by with it, and you know, I would have really liked in December, some of the money we spent between now and December, we wouldn't have spent it. I think it's going to be difficult for us to actually come back and balance the budget. I think to get by now, I think we're probably going to have to raise it a little bit, but you know, 50 cents is just unrealistic.
Alderman, can I ask you a question? Since December, what have we spent? Give me an example. I hope that you pull some out.
I'm glad you brought it up.
Because while you're looking, let me add, we spent about $4 million because of your lack of action, quite frankly, on our water sewer in the past.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Hold on. Okay. We spent another $852,000 on litigation that we could have settled years ago, and you still wanted to delay it and accrue more interest. So please tell me what we spent frivolously since I sat on this board. I know I'm inexperienced. I know that's what I keep hearing. I'm reading in the papers. But if inexperience tells me to tell people I'm not taxing them, meanwhile draining their funds of $10 million since 2006, to me, I don't want that kind of experience.
Just skimming the budget, and it's probably a whole lot more that I don't know about. But adding 2 positions that we didn't have in 2010, raises for select employees, construction projects at City Hall, radios for non-emergency personnel, ID theft, expedition, paying Mark $28,000 to whatever he done. We spent pictures, we spent these badges, name tags, radios. We moved Old Timers Day from 1 day to 3 days, and this is just what I've scratched the surface. I don't know what all this cost. Some of it, like maybe a door that was done at City Hall, $800. That don't seem like much, but $800 here, $2,000 here. When you don't have it, don't spend it. And a lot of this was frivolous. And
well, you talk about City Hall, we cleaned it up. It was so filthy that the dust was creating dirt, Dennis. When you don't fix a house, and you don't keep a house and do general maintenance, it falls apart.
One
But
thing
since
you didn't
I'm
do.
not through. I'm not
Okay,
through.
go ahead, you got the floor.
You started talking about the frivolous spending. There's pages and pages and pages where previous administrations took the credit card, wheel stands, $11 each, $10 tips. I can go on. There's pages and pages. Christmas Eve. Do any of you know of a Christmas Eve meeting that we had at Bolero's? And we paid $71? I don't think so. Super Speed, $10 wash. Super Speed, $10 wash. Dollar candy for Old Timers Day. The city already bought us Old Timers Day candy. Why do we need to spend more? Fuel, Toots, Super Speed, wheel stands, McDonald's, Big Apple. So yeah, listen, when we're telling the people about frivolous spending, not me up here cleaning the carpets with my own stuff, fixing my own, bringing up here my husband and I cleaning the carpets, cleaning the city hall, getting the junk out of here where people have room to come in. Let's talk. I mean, we will talk about frivolous spending. There's pages and pages and pages that went on that credit card for eating, personal eating every night. We came in here, we put a stop to it. Yes, we spent money to clean this up. And if you're talking about the floor falling in at the water and we don't need to fix it, then we have a bigger problem, sir. The floor is falling in, and we've got to fix it. If we'd have fixed it earlier, we wouldn't have been into it $1.2 million.
And I keep hearing gradual increase. Why didn't we gradually increase? So a board didn't sit here. We haven't had an increase in 18 years. Okay? Why didn't we? Why didn't we?
Get back to the floor.
Okay, well, let me.
Y'all throwing all this.
No,
at me
sir.
now.
But again,
I want to
ask you a
answer
question.
as y'all
You
throw
sure
it.
can.
The floor at the water treatment plant has got cracks in it where it's settled. If you're gonna fix that, you got the roof here. Every structure that city owns needs to be
That's the
fixed.
city's water, sir.
And we got a 97 rating on it.
Right, so
You
let's
can't
wait
get
till it
much
falls
better.
in. Let's wait till it
Nope.
falls in. Is that how we do things?
It ain't gonna
Because that's
fall
what it
in.
seems
It's
like it's
cracked.
been. I inherited a mess. Two board
Here's
members
what
came
you
here. I
here's what you
inherited a mess,
inherited.
sir.
Here's what you inherited. I got it wrote down because I knew you was going to ask that question. I knew you were going to ask that question, so I wrote it down to be fresh on my mind. But if y'all want to, y'all inherited.
While you're looking,
Okay.
while you're
go ahead.
looking, let me say this. I find it real ironic. We sat here for 5 budget meetings.
Here you
We
go,
had-
I found
we-
it right
we
here.
had- we had-
You inherited a Walden Road project that's basically paid for, Parthenon Extension Phase 3 that's done, Fire Station 3 on Bill Stewart, Holland Ridge David White construction done, improved major intersections, doubling the size of the senior citizen, new senior bus, new codes and stormwater building, new CDI, criminal investigation building, remodeled inside City Hall, new police substation, purchasing police cars,
That's not me.
SUVs, motorcycles, redone the football field and new concession stand at the park, red lights on Jefferson Pike and Old National Highway, hired assistant police chief, hired a full-time city planner, part-time grant writer, raises for employees every year, and that's just scratching the surface.
Okay, so you want to sit here and you want to tell the public that our infrastructure is in top-notch shape.
No,
We're where we need to be. How about our police? They're where they need to be.
Always
How about
need
our fire?
improvement.
Is they
Always
where,
need
what
improvement.
what thing are we excelling in that?
Always
Or are
need
we
improvement.
skimping by, as you said last
We
week?
always need
You
improvement.
said just now, all of a sudden, it's ironic that you came to this table right now and said to us that you wanted to work. We worked our tails off for 2.5 months. Every department head in here, and now you want to come work when the cameras work, when the cameras rolling. You want to work now, sir. We worked continuously. I didn't just study for 2 weeks. I studied for 2.5 months. Okay, that's what inexperience does for you, though. You want to be part of a team, be part of a team, but don't sit here in front of the people and tell them that you've been diligent when you have not.
Every department could stand the improvements. We've done it the 6 years I was here. We've done it with what we had. We've done it without
There's
raising
nothing
property
left,
taxes.
though. Y'all took all the reserve fund.
We didn't have that many reserves to start with. We got reserves right now. We got reserves right now.
Where?
What we got, fellas? It ain't much, it's less than $5,000. 1 year, we didn't even have that much.
I know.
I mean, the money's tight. But, you know,
This is just ridiculous.
you know.
It is ridiculous.
It
And
is.
it's about time that we stand up and do something for our city. Okay? We need to do something. I understand everybody's feelings here. Okay? If there's room to compromise, let's compromise. But I will say this. What's ridiculous is that we sit up here and say everything's fine when it isn't. And it hasn't been for a long time. There was money coming in. Now there isn't. There's no revenue. And we're trying to provide services. Why were not provided all along? Where was the gradual increase? Why are you just now calling for a gradual increase?
We provided services for 6.5 years.
Why are you just now asking for a gradual increase? How long have you sat on the board, sir? 2004, if I'm not mistaken. And you're just now wanting to call for an increase? We are in the top 5% of population, and we're paying in the bottom 10% in taxes in the state.
This expenses here, what y'all spent since December, stuff that we might have not or should have spent.
Litigations?
Well,
water, sewer bills that we should have, but nobody wanted to move on it because it was getting into an election year?
We had the same litigation in 2005, 2006. We ain't got nothing new that we didn't have for 6.5 years. We could argue all night. We don't have $14 million.
That's true.
But, you and Farmer said y'all inherited a mess. Y'all looking at the glass half empty instead of half full. Look what you did inherit.
You're right. I inherited a spot that I can work my tail off for 2 years. And you know what? I could care less about a re-election. I care what's doing right for this city. And it's about time that someone did. It is ridiculous, Ms. Sherry. You're right.
At this point, I'm going to call for vote. We have a motion on the floor, a motion to deny the budget, and I have a second. We're going to do a roll call vote, and it is a motion to deny. Alderman Green.
To deny.
Motion to deny.
The budget?
The motion to deny the budget.
I'm not denying the budget.
Okay, so you will vote no.
Yeah. No, I'll vote, I want the budget to be.
Okay, right now, Dennis made a motion to deny
The
the budget and the tax rate. This is all one motion.
Okay, now I did say I would like to see the tax done gradually.
Okay, so, but the motion on the floor is a motion to deny the annual budget and the tax rate at 50 cents. So do you agree? If you agree with the motion to deny, you say yes. If you do not, you say no.
I'm going to say no.
Okay?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
No.
And I vote no. So now, we voted no on the motion to deny. Now we need we have to go on, we cannot leave it.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, I'm having a motion to approve the budget and the tax rate. A motion to approve, and I'll second.
I'd like to say something here in regards to many of the seniors. I do think we need to act on it. I know we worked on it quite some time, but if there is some remedy for the seniors, or if there's something we can provide them, I know the county does. If that's something we can, this may be a question for you, Evan, if we can later add to it, we can amend to it. I sure would like to see if that's possible.
Then we do have a lot of information out there that our public relations director is
You can't, seniors, you can get
help.
You can get help from this city
And the county. But you cannot get it from the city until September.
Yeah, it comes later, but you will, you pay your amount, but then you will get a refund.
But we have all that
But
information
we do,
with it.
I mean, I do that myself. I even go to the county, and that's something you need to do. If you go to the county and you're on a fixed income, they will check it and they will freeze your taxes. So you can do that. I am not against a tax raise. I just wish it could be gradually. I know we have to do something, people, and I know that. And I'm sure that most of you that have lived here all this time know the same thing, but like I said, I wish it could be done gradually because I have to pay it too. But I know we still have to run the city.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor to approve the budget and tax rate, and I have a second. At this time, if there's no further comments, I'm getting ready to do a roll call vote. Okay? Alderman Green.
This is hard.
I know.
This is the hardest thing I've done since I've been here.
I know it is.
But we do have to balance our budget. And we do have to, so I'm going to have to say yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
No.
Alderman Blaker?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion carries. We will move on to number 5, second reading, ordinance 2011-12, an ordinance to amend Title II, Chapter 5, Section 2-501 of the Laverne Municipal Code to add 2 members to the Economic Development Advisory Committee. And this, one of those members will be our city planner. So do I have a motion to approve or to deny?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We will move on to our consent agenda. I don't believe we had anything to remove from the consent agenda.
Mayor, actually, there are 2 contracts on the consent agenda that if the board is willing, I'd like for those to be removed and discuss those individually.
Okay.
That's D, the Pyro Shows contract,
Okay.
and E, the Skin and Bones contract.
Okay. All right.
So I need a motion to remove those from the consent
That's
agenda.
D and E. Okay. I need a motion to remove first items D, contract with Pyro Shows, and E, contract with Skin and Bones Entertainment.
Motion made.
Motion to remove, I need a second.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next, we're going to make a motion to approve or to deny, as amended, the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
And I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Now, we're going to do these each individually.
Yes, ma'am. Mayor, on the, and board, on the Pyro Show contract, there's a paragraph on that contract that requests that the city indemnify the Pyro Shows Corporation. And as you know, I take a strong stance against the city indemnifying any third party. So and I understand we're under a time crunch because this is the 4th of July fireworks show. So if the board wants to approve this contract, what I would recommend is that you approve it contingent upon my approval, and I will try to negotiate with the Pyro Show folks to take that part out.
I agree with that, Mayor.
Okay. So did everybody get that? When we make a motion, we're going to make a motion contingent upon Evan's approval of this contract. Okay, do I have a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve based upon approval of the city attorney.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're going to do number E, approve contract with Skin and Bones Entertainment to perform at the Old Timers Festival.
Same situation there, Mayor. There are a couple of issues I'd like to clear up with them, and so I would just make the same point.
Okay. Okay, so if we make a motion to approve, do so with a contingent upon the approval of our city attorney. So I'll make that motion, contingent upon approval by our city attorney.
I'll second.
I have a second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right. We're going to move on now to new business, appoint board members. All right. We've got an applicant for our library board. Yay. Yay. And I think we have one well, we have 2, but the girls outnumber the guys, so we got to have a guy on here. And I've noticed that Mr. Fred Gaston has graciously consented to be on this board, so I need a motion to approve or to deny Mr. Gaston to be on the library board?
I make the motion.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We appreciate you, Fred. Thank you very much. Next, we have an opening on the Senior Citizens Advisory Committee. And Miss Connie Joanne Jones, better known, we call her CJ. I've known this young lady, well, she's a woman now. I think she would be a huge asset to the Senior Citizens Committee. She's very talented, not only musically, but she has a lot to offer, time and effort, and I just think it would be a beautiful marriage between those and this young woman. And I would love to make a motion that we appoint Ms. C.J. Jones to the Senior Citizens Board.
I make that motion.
Okay, I have a motion by Alderman Green. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have 2 vacant positions for the Economic Development Board. One of those positions will be for our city planner, which is Mr. Grant Green. And this is a very tough one because we have been absolutely blessed to have 3 to be willing to take the position, the other vacant position. At this time, I would love to recommend Mr. Tom Clark. He has started with us from the beginning. Since I've taken over the economic development, he has done a wonderful job, and all of that time was donated. Just as a business owner, he was not on the board, had no voting rights or whatsoever, and he gave a lot of time and effort and put a lot of time in, and brought a lot of good information to the table. So I would love to recommend, of course, our city planner, Grant Green, and Mr. Tom Clark. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
And I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And please, don't lose these names, because we get people to sign up. We're going to put them in some spots somewhere. We have 2 positions on the Greenway. The terms of Connie Golden and Doug Smith expired in May. Let's see, I spoke to Doug, and he would like to stay on, so Mr. Smith would love to stay on that committee. And let's see, I believe, Mr. Broker, you deal a lot with these.
I'd like to make a motion for Ms. Lisa Deist.
Okay. And Mr. Smith, we have to vote him back on if you want to keep him. Okay. So we have a motion for Mr. Doug Smith and Mr. Lisa Deist.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Also, again, let's keep Mr. Jones' application. He does have a, the second, he does have a landscape and is more than willing to get in there and help us with the greenway, so might want to make some contact with him.
Absolutely.
Okay. Park and Rec. The terms of Robert Simon and Michael Wilson expired in May. Both Mr. Simon and Mr. Wilson would like to stay on this committee. Do I have and we've not received any other applications. Do I have a motion to accept Mr. Simon and Mr. Wilson?
Motion to accept.
Motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. The Local Emergency Planning Committee, as everyone knows, Mr. Allen has been under the weather. Mr. Tim Hooker is taking the place of Mr. Allen while he's under the weather. And we would like to add Mr. Hooker to our Local Emergency Planning Committee. Do I have a motion to approve Mr. Hooker?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's move on now. We've got all of that. This is the first reading, ordinance 2011-13, an ordinance to amend Article 2, Section 2.020, and Article 4, Section 4.030A of the Laverne zoning ordinance regarding carnivals and circuses received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on May 31st, 2011. Mr. Green, if you want to give us just a quick briefing again.
Yes, ma'am. This is a slight change to the zoning ordinance, just to add two definitions for carnival and circus, as well as place the C1 zoning district in the list of zoning districts that have the ability to get a 15-day carnival or circus permit.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve or to deny?
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. All right. Number 9, Resolution 2011-11, a resolution to appropriate funds to nonprofit organizations for fiscal year 2011-2012. On this one, help me here with Evan and them, making sure I say this appropriately. On this one, we are removing the Laverne Rescue from the nonprofits. The money's still there. They're still working on their contracts. Everything's good. Everything's going well. But we're going to move them into the contractual under the emergency services. So when you vote on this, it will be without the Laverne Rescue being on the nonprofit organization. The money's not going anywhere. The money's still there. And when they get their contracts, they're still working with the attorneys, are getting all the verbiage just like everybody's comfortable with. The Laverne Rescue is not going anywhere. This is strictly getting all the contracts and everything signed so they can move forward in the city. So when we moved to pass this, it was going to be voted on with the Laverne Rescue being removed from the nonprofit organization.
And that's exactly correct. We're still negotiating and
Yes.
favorable that we can conclude on the terms.
Yes.
The money is still there.
Yes, the money's not going anywhere. Okay. So I'll make that motion to approve, but removing the Laverne Rescue from the nonprofit and making them a contractual or service. Did I say that correctly, legally? Is that what we're, okay. Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, and I have a second. Let's do a roll call. Alderman Green. Aye. Vice Mayor.
Aye.
I vote aye. Alderman Waldron.
I spoke to Steve earlier about this, and the first time I heard anything about it today. I'm going to pass on it. I don't want to vote no on it, don't want to vote yes, but I'm going to pass on this because I hadn't had a chance to really study it and look it over. So I'm going to pass on this one.
Alderman Broker.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. All right, number 10, Resolution 2011-12, a resolution to amend Section 6, Paragraph D and Section 6, Paragraph E of the City of Laverne Personnel Rules and Regulations regarding the grievance procedures and appeals process. Okay. And if y'all don't mind on this one, if we can, I would love to have a little more conversation on, especially with our attorney, just making sure, because this has got to be perfect, and we've got to make sure that we have everything. And in light of the last couple of weeks, I don't think we've had time to really sit down and talk about
discuss
things.
that. Okay.
If that's okay, do you mind that?
I'm
Because
okay
we're
with
really
that.
trying to get this book and get these rules and regulations perfect.
We had a discussion today on whether to table this.
Okay.
Basically, what we're going to do, hopefully in the month of July, is do the entire handbook from front to back and make some additions. Probably some of that will be moving a lot of the appendixes to the book itself and revamp that, so it's fine with me.
Ma'am,
Table it
if
or
I may,
defer it?
go ahead.
Sure.
we had discussed about holding back on this until we can do the entire book as one piece, so we can discuss it all. I'd like to recommend you deny this.
And Evan was a part of that discussion too, and appreciate his insight on that as well. So, we'll plan on doing that, and if we're fortunate, we can do that in about a 30-day process.
So do you want us to just make a motion to deny or go and defer?
That would be the easiest thing, that way it's not hanging
Okay,
there.
I'll make a motion to deny this at that time. Do I
Okay.
have a second?
Second.
Okay,
Personally, I'm hurt, but I'm going to go to council and I'll be
but
back.
I fed you, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right. Resolution 2011-13, a resolution to adopt an advertising and event sponsorship policy for the city of Laverne. Okay.
Mayor, this is mine that I put forward before the board. And it comes up because, you know, we're beginning to solicit advertising for Old Timers Festival.
Right.
And I just think it's an area where the city didn't have really a good policy. Well, actually, we didn't have any policy. And so I drafted this to give the city some ability to control what people put on their advertisements when they put it on city property. You know, for instance, you don't want anything that's lewd or promotes a particular political candidate or anything like that. So this policy gives the city some control over that.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept.
Okay, yeah, I like it. I have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Do I have any further discussion or comments? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Resolution 2011-14, a resolution to adopt a fund balance policy as required by GASB Statement Number 54. All right, I need a motion to approve or to deny.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna vote no because I wasn't at the workshop and I'm not up to speed on this one. So I'm gonna vote no on mainly that reason.
Okay. Motion, roll call? Okay. Alderman Green, we're gonna do a roll call. Okay.
Aye.
I vote aye.
No.
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right. Let's see, we're gonna move on to number 13. Resolution 2011-15, a resolution to authorize the city administrator to submit a Tennessee Army National Guard aircraft static display request for a helicopter to be displayed at the Old Timers Festival.
Make a motion to approve it.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. And can we at least try to keep it? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I'm gonna say aye.
Resolution 2011-16, a resolution to accept Waters Edge subdivision sections 6A, 6B, 7, and 8. Received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on May the 31st, 2011. I need a motion to accept or to deny Waters Edge.
Make a motion to accept.
Motion to accept, Alderman Roker. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Green. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 15, motion to approve the paving of streets in Victory Lane subdivision, sections 1 and 2, also known as Cedar Grove, section 3.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? I'll second. And this money did come from the letters of credit and bonds that we cashed in, and it's already been paid for and ready to ready to be done.
We cashed in letter credit and already received that check.
Yes, so we have the funds to do this. So I have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Excuse me. Motion to approve purchase of weather warning system. We've been going over this for the last, 5 years? 6 years? We've preached. I've had as many for this system as I have against this system. I don't know if many of you read about the Joplin and the Tuscaloosa tornadoes. I read one section in one magazine where there was two teenagers. They were laying out in the sun. The sirens went off. They ran in. They were saved. I know everybody has preached and said that all I care about is emergency and all I care about is that. Yeah, when it comes to protecting my citizens and this city, if that's what people think that's all I care about, then you know what, I'm okay with that. Because that means I care and I have their best interests at heart. And I'm a firm believer in this. Not only is it the siren system, it's the callback system. In light of the tornadoes and everything that's hit here with the ballparks, our children, our schools, we have so many schools here. The schools are going to be within the total realm of all the siren systems. I'm sorry. I'm like Tom in 3 years. So be it. But at least I know I've given my heart, and I've done what I think is in the best interest of these citizens and taking care of these citizens. And with that said, I will be happy to make a motion to approve the purchase of the weather warning system.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, and we will do a roll call.
Before you make a roll call,
I apologize.
you got a discussion, and I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and y'all three can use me at target practice if you want to. But the one thing I've got with the sirens, they're good, but we got to be real careful on them. If they start going off false alarm after they go off 3 times, in my opinion, they're worthless. I think they're great if they're used right. I would like to see one be put at the park first to try it out. So I'm gonna step down off my soapbox and let y'all three just shoot me full of holes.
Can I say something?
That's my
I actually
opinion.
agree with you in one part. I had the same issues that, again, I've heard there could be some sensitivity issues, there could be some false alarms and so on, but we have the ability, I found, to manually set it at how we want it. So if we set it at a distance of a lightning of 10 miles away, and we find it's super sensitive, we can back it up. If it's sending false alarms, we have the ability to change that. So, believe it or not, Dennis, I do believe with you on that.
And also, when they test them now, they do it where
It's silent.
It's
You
silent.
don't hear it.
And what is these 10 gonna cost? I got $481,000. Am I right or
and that's
wrong?
over a 12-year period. That is not being paid out of pocket tomorrow.
The
And
first
we
payment's
do
1
next-
year after
after
the
the-
last one's put in.
Yes. So we don't even start paying until next year. Okay, so I have a motion and a second. And we'll do a roll call.
I am glad you explained that because Ricky explained that to me too.
Mhm.
If we were going to have to pay it right now,
Oh, yeah.
I would
We
say-
couldn't do that. Right. And we got it at a very low interest rate as well. So it's
So,
all.
I mean, they're not even gonna be put in for 90 days is,
That's going to be
That's
pushing
pushing it to
just to
get
get
them
it
put
when
in
the
in
next
90
tornado
days.
season. So,
so it puts us far enough out.
Can I jump in there too?
Sure,
Okay,
yeah.
just for a point of explanation. Quite a bit of the expense is going to be for the software supporting the system, and the individual hardware pieces are for the 11 sirens. One of the strong points, I think, for this system is that the entire city, plus part of the water, plus a little bit of Smyrna, plus a little bit of Nolensville is covered by these sirens. It's 100% physical land coverage. It also includes a callback system for phones, smartphones, to give individual warning of things that are happening back at your home, no matter where you are.
yeah.
And besides just weather, it can be used for Amber Alerts, robberies, school shooters.
We could have used it during the flood.
Something happens with an industrial basis that could have used it during the flood. Big thing happens on the interstate, and you can target any one of them to talk verbally and give a response. You can do one, more than one, and the software helps you by targeting only those areas that are important. If something is just happening at the ball field, that's the only one that will go off. And it's also manually controlled by our dispatch, and it can be targeted by our emergency services coordinator.
Yeah.
So I support this system. It's very good. It's
Bridgestone's looking at putting this on their property too.
Bridgestone wants to get an extra one that copies ours.
So there'll even be more eyes watching there.
So I fully support this system.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's do, anybody, I'm sorry, anybody else? Okay, roll call, Alderman Green. Aye. Vice Mayor.
Aye.
I vote aye. Alderman Waldron.
No.
Alderman Broker.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 17, motion to approve proposal from Griggs & Maloney Incorporated to provide engineering services for equipment repair or replacement and minor building repairs by the water plant contract operator at the water treatment plant. All right. This is providing the engineering services for us to begin work. Evan, have you looked over any of this? Any questions on this? It's a clean contract. It's a clean contract. Everybody knows Bill Griggs and Maloney, and this is getting that services started for our water treatment plant engineering. It'll take, what do you say, about 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
To get everything done. So I need a motion to approve or to deny.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Alderman Broker. Do I have a second? I have a second by Alderman Green.
This is the one I talked to earlier about the $1.6 million plan to renovate the water treatment plant.
This is for the engineering. This is for Bill and them to handle.
But this is to go, this engineer to put in motion the improvements for $1,600,000. Okay.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call. Alderman Broker.
Aye.
Alderman Waldron.
No.
I vote aye. Vice Mayor.
Aye.
Alderman Green. Aye. Motion carries. Okay, we're down to Mayor and Alderman comments. And we'll start at the other end. We'll start with you, Alderman Broker.
First of all, I don't know if Cecil's still around, but I want to say how much he'll truly be missed. I had the pleasure of being able to work with him for about the last 11, 12 years, and I wish him well, and we really will miss him, so I want to say that. The only thing I want to say tonight is we heard so many different emotions, and we heard both ends of it, probably tonight more so on the against the taxes. The easiest thing in the world for me to do would have been to sit here and vote no. I think we all ran on change. I think a lot of people asked for change. At what cost do we take back our city, or do we wait and where it's too late and we can't take our city back? I know their emotions run high on that subject, but again, I truly believe that at the end of our 5-year plan, that our quality of life will jump. So a lot of people that may not understand it, I ask you to please get educated. Please, everything is on our website. Our budget is on our website. Our 5-year plan is on our website. If you don't understand it, please call us. Any of us. Agree, disagree, please call us. Any of us will take the time and explain it to you. We are going to move this city forward. I saw that this morning. Somebody wrote, we stay where we're at, or we to move forward, and it's my vote to move it forward. So, that's it.
Alderman Waldron.
Want to wish Cecil well, best for his 18.5 years of service. Hope he enjoys his retirement. I'm going to miss him. I think every department's going to miss him. The one thing I remember, going to remember most about Cecil, the police department had an air conditioner issue. The air conditioner was out, and Cecil was on top of the police department one hot summer, and the collectors was rusted out. You know, it seemed like everybody called on Cecil when it was a problem, and he's going to be well missed. And the kids is out of school. Keep him, watch out, keep him safe. keep Miss Davis in a prayer. She's still battling cancer, and she's not out of the woodwork, but she's looking good. Excuse me, she's looking good. And I'm sorry that I missed the workshop. I don't miss many of them, but I'll try not to miss no more. And take care of your pets. Make sure your pets has got plenty of water and shade, and check on the sick and the elderly. Be careful and have a safe summer. Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
We've had several employees that's had deaths in their family. I want to keep them in your prayers. And thank Cecil for his years of service.
Alderman Green?
I would like to thank Cecil too. Not only have I known him since I've been on board, I've known Cecil ever since almost I've been in Laverne. And he does. He's always willing to help or do anything he can. But most of our employees are. So I would just like to thank each and every one of them for the hard work they do. And again, I came here tonight, I promise you, I had no intentions, and I don't know why I voted for this. That was not my intentions but we do have to run this city. We've got to. And I mean, I know, and I've been on this board since '96, and you can say whatever you want to about me. I don't recall any terrible spending any of the time. There may be a few things that could have been done differently, but when these people leave, you'll say the same thing about them. I mean, nobody is perfect, and you can't always do a perfect job. And I know they look and say, well, Sherry Green, you've been there since, I've been here since '96, which is probably too long for some of you. But anyway, it's just not easy to do this. And just like Mr. Roberg, is that his name?
Brian Roberg.
Said, sit on this side of the table. But I can promise you one thing. I have never done a favor, and I've never taken a favor. And I will leave this office the same way. Now, that's much I can assure you. But again, I am proud to live in Laverne, and I want all of the seniors to please check into their tax relief. If you need me, I'll be happy to help you any way I can, because it can be done. It has been done for me, and it's wonderful. So, and I know that it's going to be hard. I'm sure it's going to be hard for me to pay mine too. But if we're going to live here, we've got to do the best we can. So I'm sorry that it will be a burden to some people, but hopefully we'll all get through it, and then we will turn out to be better for it. So, and I do wish everybody a good summer, and we do need to be real careful with kids being out, because they go up and down the sidewalks on their little skateboards. They ride their bicycle zigzag. We just have to be careful, because I back out of my driveway, and sometimes I forget we've got sidewalks, and I have to really be careful, because I almost backed right out, you know. So you don't, just be real careful and just have a good summer.
I want to thank this board.
Steve wanted to say something. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I just had a comment. Something that wasn't really mentioned this evening. I wanted to ensure the board that I feel like I have some of the hardest working city employees in the business. And every one of them tonight, with the passing of this budget, just entered the community of being on a fixed income. They forego their ways, and not a one of them complained. And nobody mentioned that tonight, so I just wanted to point out how much I appreciate that as well.
Thank you for that. And again, everybody thinks that was just easy, that we just sit up here, but we do care. And we did rely on our employees, our department heads. We put a burden on you to ask you to think logical, think about what we can do for the next 5 years. We didn't ask for frills. You didn't get frills. You did not get frills. You forwent your raises. You're working with bare skeleton crews, and you stuck with us. And I hope tonight that y'all saw we stuck with you. And we're we're gonna continue to stick, and together, it's gonna take all of us. It's gonna be us working together. It can't be Steve or me or Tom or Dennis or any of us working singly. It's got to take everybody working with these department heads, making this city, and it's going to move forward. Yes, it's a recession. The recession is not going to last forever. And all I'm telling you, police officers, we're going to give you guys, I want you to go in Lake Forest like we went into Iraq and clean it up. That's the one thing I have. And I've got it taped. You've got my backing. Do what you got to do, because I'm here and I'm going to back it. And I thank everybody. Please know we do care. This was a tough decision, and I appreciate each and every one of you and your opinions. I call this meeting adjourned.